as good a time to start as any. So I'd like to welcome everybody to this session, Metaphor in Mind, Processing Digital Information and Art. My name is Igor Yudichevich. Glad to see so many faces here bright and early on a Sunday morning. So I'm going to do a brief intro, then we'll go through the presentation, and we're going to have time for a panel discussion at the end. So when your questions come, make a mental note, and then you'll have the chance to ask them all after the final presentation. But just to introduce what we're going to be doing today, Daniel Burns said it best, why we study art, other than art is just interesting. And he mentioned that the highly variegated human activities that are classed as art form a unique testing ground that nobody interested in behavior in general can afford to ignore. So as a psychologist, studying art is just a massively useful tool and led to what I feel are some really profound findings. We're going to be dealing with metaphor. So we're all familiar with linguistic metaphors. So some sentences like the grass is green, we understand those literally, that means the grass is green. Other sentences like he has a heart of stone, we know that that does not mean that he literally has a heart of stone, but he's emotionless, he's cold, it's metaphorical. Pictures in the same way can be metaphorical. So our first talk by Charles Jackson is going to take a look at how do we process literal information in pictures depicting motion to know that this is a picture of an individual running, and how do we combine that with metaphorical information such as this multiple images to really understand and perceive the jumping motion in this case. Then Christopher Crawford is going to talk about how we make decisions about whether something should be interpreted metaphorically. So this runner over here, is this multiple images or is it a group of runners? So there's structural information, especially if you zoom out here, there's a guy in a baseball hat. Clearly that tells you that it's a group of individuals, not multiple images. Sometimes you get contextual information. And we're going to see how is it that you make a decision as to whether or not this is a metaphorical example of multiple images, or is this the world famous BMX team doing one of their most dangerous stunts. And then we're going to end with how do metaphors spread? So we saw the multiple images, and that's an understood metaphor. That's something that everybody can grasp. But where did it start? And maybe it spread through, and we understand it because of Edward Muybridge and his work on stop motion images. So maybe it was because he presented his images like this, and if you're lucky enough to go to John and Stefano's talk, you'll know all about horses' gaits. But maybe it was because this was done first that people accepted multiple metaphors. So we'll also take a look at how another metaphor spread through our understanding of visual language. So right now,